I don't think I had been on a vacation or anywhere by myself for 10 years.
Mhm.
So I went on a retreat, and it was a solo retreat in Costa Rica. And when I was there, I just had this revelation and realizing that, you know what? I'm coming back to myself. I'm coming back to who I really am. I am not this superficial beauty stigma that is put out there, often associated with aesthetic medicine. I'm deeper than that. I'm more than that. I'm a very, very deep spiritual person. And having said that, I learned breath work, which was so powerful that I went back to do training so I could bring that back to my patients. And I thought, it's time to build something that is more than just the superficial outside.
What's going on, you all? My name is Tillman. We are back again with another Biz Growth Collective business spotlight. And today we're going to be spotlighting Rachel Hensler with the Aesthetic Portal, right? You can find her at theaestheticportal.com. Just so everybody and the listeners know, the purpose of this podcast is to share other people's journey that are also business owners like yourself in hopes that you can grab some inspiration, you can grab some nuggets of wisdom, and at the very least grab a little glimmer of hope to continue to go on your business journey, because most of the time this journey is very lonely, and sometimes one person's story that can sound similar to your story can give you that little nugget of hope to keep going for the next day, the next week, the next year. Especially as we're coming up on the holidays, it's going to be very important for us to grab a little piece of hope that we can, especially with everything we've experienced in 2025 and heading into next year. So let's first start out with, Rachel, I'll let you introduce yourself and then talk a little bit about like what inspired you to start this business and how has that journey been for you, and any like tidbits that you might give as far as looking back, if you had to start it all over again, what would you do a little bit differently in the beginning?
Sure. Thank you, Tillman. I appreciate the introduction. It's Rachel Hensler. I think you said Henslin, but it's Rachel Hensler.
Hensler, sorry about
Hensler.
that.
No worries, no worries. It gets messed up all the time. Hensley and different names, but really it's something that started within me. It was a huge shift that I experienced. As a single mom now for 7 years, I got to the point where my cup was so full. I've been working in aesthetic medicine since 2011. I've been a PA for 23 years, but being a single mom and having to do everything on my own, I never got me time. I never got any type of downtime. She's 7 now. Her sister is also, she's not with me, she's with her dad, but she lives in North Carolina. It comes down to visit, which is nice. So we're not completely far away, but I'm a single mom to Emerson 100% of the time. And she's on the spectrum. Those of those that know anything about the spectrum, it's a journey. That in and of itself is another job, taking care of a special needs child. So yeah, I noticed, I saw in me that there was so much I needed to work on. And I finally had a moment. I don't think I had been on a vacation or anywhere by myself for 10 years.
Mhm.
So I went on a retreat, and it was a solo retreat in Costa Rica. While I was there, I learned so much about myself. It was over a week. And when I was there, I just had this revelation and realizing that, you know what? I'm coming back to myself. I'm coming back to who I really am. I am not this superficial beauty stigma that is put out there, often associated with aesthetic medicine.
Mhm.
I'm deeper than that. I'm more than that. I'm not superficial. I'm a very, very deep spiritual person. And having said that, I learned breath work when I was in Costa Rica. which was so powerful that I went back to do training so I could bring that back to my patients. And I thought, how can, it's time to build something that is more than just the superficial outside. Because if you look at these, and I'm not putting these people in a category, but if you look at quote yogis,
Mm.
they look so young. And
Hmm.
it's like, what are they doing? Well, they're meditating, they're doing movement, whether it's yoga, exercise, gym, whatever, you know, they have so many different things these days, different types of movements. They're connecting with themselves, they're doing breathing, they're believing in a higher power, all of that. And they're taking care of themselves that way. And so I thought this is resonating with me because my cup has been so full and feeling myself making this transition, understanding what's really going on is at the core of my being. It's not really who you are on the outside. It is who you are on the outside. The core of your being is who you are on the outside, if that makes sense. Because
Mm.
if you're feeling like crap on the inside, it's going to show on the outside. It causes aging, chronic stress, the fight or flight mode continuously, which is what I was experiencing. That will, in and of itself, will age you. And if you don't attack what's really at the root cause, it's going to continue. And I can put band-aids on your face all day long. That's what I've, focused on for so long was injecting fillers, Botox, biostimulators. It's more than that. It's what's at the core of your soul. And how can we fuel that by treating the whole person? And I saw the need for that. I really did, especially where I live in South Tampa, because there are so many med spas. Not one med spa incorporates what we do. It's all focused on, everybody's getting into the wellness side and, the inside and the out, but are they really? Are they
Mm.
really? What are they doing to really get inside that person and treat the whole person and be with that person to, spend the time with them, which is what I love to do. Co-create a plan to help them feel better all around. And so that's really where I got the inspiration was my initial retreat, seeing it in myself, seeing myself aging, looking in the mirror and going, holy shit, it's been 2 years and what the F has happened?
Mm.
And then going back and saying, oh yeah, I really I haven't focused on myself. I haven't listened to my inner being. I haven't sat in silence. I haven't prioritized the things that are important. And so that's really what drove me to create the aesthetic portal, was something that is truly built as a meaningful, authentic place where people can feel at home, where people can feel like there's a collective, a community that's not only there to sell, upsell, um, inject filler wherever they can, inject tox wherever they can. It's really about how can we heal? How can we all heal together?
Mm.
How can we heal as a collective? And by doing so, we can help one another. But finding out it's beyond the beauty. It's beyond the beauty on the outer and on the outside. It's more of a, you know, how can we align your light, restore balance to yourself, and begin to realize how worthy you are. It's how worthy you are, and you matter, and loving yourself. I realized that I had never told myself that I loved myself, which was so it was actually, it was sad, but at the same time, it was empowering. So, you know, what can I say? That's where I got the idea. And then moving forward, it just seemed to align. Everything just seemed to align with the way that things are going in my life, the transformations that I had been through and are still going through, you know. It's a continuous evolution. Um, so yeah, that's where I got the inspo from, and I knew I never, let me say this. I never wanted to own my own place, ever. I always told myself, "Oh, I just don't want to have to deal with it. I don't I'm never going to open my own place." And this wasn't out of it really just came to me. And I thought, you know what? I have to do this for myself. I have to do this to be true to myself, stay true to my authentic self. And that way I can help others. And that's really what it's about. Is how can I help others? I love to empower other people. If I can share my story and help someone else, like that's made my day.
Yeah, let me
So,
pause you right there because you said
sure.
something that was really important to me, and I think it's important to a lot of people because a lot of the listeners that, oh, you struck a nerve. I ain't gonna lie, you struck a nerve, Rachel. Because a lot of my clients and a lot of people that are business owners, a lot of it comes down to worthiness. Let's be honest. How many of us are business owners are tying our worthiness to how much revenue we're getting at the end of the month? How much of us are tying our worthiness to how many problems are happening this month inside of our business? Even some of them are not even in our control. And here's the thing. Every time I get overwhelmed, and if you're a business owner, if you've never been overwhelmed, I would question if you're a real entrepreneur. But every time
Exactly.
I get overwhelmed, I think about this. It was a book I read or a mentor I used to have that said that no one I have ever seen or heard of looks at a newborn baby and tells that baby, you know what, little baby? You're not worthy of having your own business. You're not worthy of having the most successful life. You're not worthy of love. You're not worthy of connection. You're not worthy of, being able to serve others. I love the quote that says, "You're playing small doesn't serve the world." And it sounds like you went through a transformation of that internal realization within yourself. But again, that worthiness is very connected to it because my other mentor told me that um, being a business owner is very much a spiritual journey because of the person that you need to become in order to be successful at the level that it takes to take care of your family and others and clients and still be able to mentally handle that. And I could tell that your brand does a lot of fusion between empowerment and transformation. So, and now that you've had this personal transformation, how has that correlated to what you do in the business world and what you do for your clients?
So I can definitely see it creeping in, being a business owner and then having what you thought it was going to be, but it's really not what you thought it's going to be. And
Ain't
uh,
that the truth?
yes, and let me say the time for me, the time, all of the realizations that I had, that comes creeping in quite often. And I have to remind myself why I created the aesthetic portal. Because if I'm not embodying that, how can I run the business that way?
Mm,
So
yep.
that's
It's like John
really,
C. Maxwell talks about that book, the laws of leadership, and the number one is the law of the lid, which means that your organization can't go any higher. It has a lid on it from your leadership, and your organization can't go any higher than that.
you hit that on the nail. I mean, that's it. If you're not elevating as a business owner, continuing your spiritual path, continuing to grow, you're not going to see that in your business.
For some of the businesses that have, how long have you been in business?
So I opened the business about a year ago. It took some time to find the right space. It was really hard to find the right location with the right build out. Fortunately, I didn't have to do a ton of work. So I just sort of held out until I found the right place. And I was very, very, very blessed to have found the place that I'm at now. Um, so it's been about a year since I really created the business. It's been since around April since we've been in our space and we've actually been consistently seeing patients.
Okay, okay. Well, the reason why I asked is because a lot of people that listen to this, they are still stuck in that limbo stage. You know, a lot of it has to
Hmm.
do with worthiness. Like, as you know, before you start a business, there's like a million what ifs that go in between your ears that you're thinking about. What about this? What about that? Should I start now? Is now the right time? This and this and that. So, but I think I always tell business owners that one of the ways to help with that is to be in the know. You know, a lot of people fear the unknown. And so, what are some of the ways that you were able to, like, what are some of the challenges you faced prior to, like, whenever you first got started, and how did you overcome those?
Well, I think a lot of that's actually going on now, to be honest. When I first started, I had a clear path. I knew what I was doing. I thought I knew what I was
Mm,
doing. Um, the challenges early on were more of a lack of knowledge because coming from a clinical perspective for 23 years, being a clinician, not a business owner, not knowing anything about, I didn't even know what the term SEO meant.
mm,
I didn't know what a CTA was, call to action. Um, didn't know a thing about websites, not one thing. And I will say that has probably been my biggest challenge is the website. I had the wool pulled over my eyes several times. Um, Still working on the website. The website that you're seeing now that's currently live was built last year, and I was charged a large amount of money for it, not knowing what aspects really needed to go into it on the back end.
mm,
So even though that person was recommended, I didn't, it was lack of knowledge on my part for not knowing the right questions to ask.
mm,
And, fast forward, I started working with a larger website company in May, and they promised to deliver in 90 days, which is a long time. And 4 months had gone by with very little communication.
mm,
And I'm sitting here going, what in the world? Is this how it's supposed to work? I don't know, So I'm emailing them going, hey guys, like where's the final product? And then what I think happened is they forgot about me because when they sent the final product, I literally wanted to just go in a corner and cry. It was, they stripped my entire essence, my whole brand identity, and made it into this almost like AI looking cheesy uh website that you look at it and you're going, what is this place? Like, what? It, no, it didn't sit with me at all. And while I understand they were trying to optimize SEO, there's a way to do that without stripping someone's entire sense of self and their brand essence.
mm,
So we are still working, I am working on building the website from scratch. And that has probably been the biggest challenge because it's been costly. Um, I've lost I don't know how many leads. I tried running, I think, a Google ad at one point, and not only were my phone systems being routed to another med spa at the time, but
whoa,
mhm, but I also didn't have an SEO optimized website.
mm,
So I'm still waiting for this content to be delivered with my direction, obviously, this time. So that I have to say has probably been the most difficult challenge because it's not reaching the community. It's not reaching the people that are looking for these types of services.
Mm-hmm.
We just don't have the visibility.
Yep, yep. And so, um, a lot of what I work with in Bizgo Collective and my personal business is with marketing. So we could talk offline a lot about that. For those of y'all who don't know, search SEO stands for search engine optimization. So meaning that if you or your kid or your neighbor or anybody goes outside and looks up a patio deck on Google, there's a reason why you don't get a Coldplay song because those things have been search engine optimized for to give you the results from the search engine of what you're searching for. So the way that the websites are built is that there's a different layers to optimize off page and on page. I won't get into all the details as far as that goes, but there's a ton of knowledge that I have about being ranked onto Google. So we'll dive into that some other time. But yes, websites do take a lot of work. I just wanted to clear up the fact that SEO is something that's important. And like you said, it just all goes back to visibility, right? So those
It
people that are
does.
searching, when they're searching, are they finding you? And hopefully calling the right phone number as well is a big
Exactly.
piece of it.
Exactly.
um, but on your website that you currently have, I saw that you do everything from like custom facials to micro needling. Like what are some of the services that you offer? And I love asking this question. What is your favorite
My favorite.
what's your one of your favorite services to
Sure.
offer?
Yep. So being a PA, obviously I have a medical director, but my favorite is the injectables. The more invasive, the better. I've always loved surgery. I've always loved to suture. But I have to say my favorite treatment is to do full facial balancing with filler. Because
Interesting.
yes, you can literally do so much, and it doesn't have to be a ton of filler. You can literally do so much if you know what you're doing, where you're placing it, the anatomy below it. You can truly transform someone's features and not in a bad way, enhancing their features
Mm,
um, to where they look refreshed. Their, their profile is more aligned. And as we age, we lose bone, we lose fat, and then our ligaments that hold everything up start to get loose. So everything starts to fall. That's pretty much the science behind it, right? Why do
mm-hmm,
people have jowls? Why do people, well, it's because the bone underneath is slowly deteriorating. The fat pads that are underneath there are slowly shrinking and descending, and the ligaments that are there to hold that up are also becoming more lax. So everything starts to fall. That's sort of the anatomy behind it. But having said that, it really can make someone look in the mirror and go, wow, I just a wow factor. And I
mm-hmm.
love to see someone eh, just look in the mirror and seeing that glow and that smile on their face is that's what makes my day, and that's what makes me love what I do. Um, our esthetician actually offers we just brought on a new esthetician actually, and she's amazing. She is a licensed medical esthetician in addition to being a certified herbalist and a certified
Mm.
somatic healer. So she's going to be
There
doing
goes
different,
back to that holistic thing you were talking about.
that's what we're about. So she's going to be doing Reiki infused facials with a Palo Santo and intention card every time. She'll also do somatic work as an add-on. So in there'll be organic infused oils. We're also going to be offering uh, tea, which is what she creates. She makes her own teas, like Blue Lotus tea.
Whoa.
And so bring her herbalistic um,
Knowledge.
knowledge, yes, and training is going to be huge. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what she can do because she's just an amazing soul. She's one of those people that when when you're looking for someone to hire, you're talking with them maybe on the phone at first and thinking, yeah, yeah, no, yeah. This one, I had a sense that she was the right person. And then when she walked in the door, from that point on,
Mm.
I knew she was the one.
I love
Hmm.
that.
Yep.
And the cool thing about the aesthetic portal is that education seems to be at the foundation or really the
Yes.
core of your business. How do you guys kind of take it from, like my mission? I always, like, secretly inside I tell people, like, if they come and do marketing with my company, for example, I want them to learn so much throughout that process that if they ever leave, they can always look back and say, you know what, man, I really learned so much working with that guy Tillman, man. You know what I mean? So how does that translate for you when they're in your facility versus when they're at home? You know, what are some of the steps that you take to really make sure that your client is informed that they can take their home care, skincare practices to the next level?
Well, it starts with your knowledge and my knowledge and my experience, I should say. Um, I I have gone to, again, I've been doing this since 2011, and that was back when we didn't respect anatomy, right? I would inject Radius, which is calcium hydroxyapatite, into the temple without aspirating. Who knows where the superficial temporal artery is? Who knows what you're injecting into? We didn't pay attention back then. There wasn't enough knowledge. Now people are offering trainings everywhere. One is knowing, the right training, um, and also continuing to train. So for me, it's very important to attend at least one uh, anatomy cadaver workshop per year, and then continuing to go to the right conferences to stay on the forefront of what's coming, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, Individual trainings as well. I've done tons of individual trainings. I've been trained by Julie Horn. She's known as the lip queen of the world. Uh, I've done cadaver courses with Dr. Swift. I've done trainings with Shino Bay. So
Mm-hmm.
so all of these names, they're names, but they're important names because they really know what they're doing. So staying at the forefront of my own education so that I can then translate that to my patients so that they can understand it.
Yeah.
And sitting down with someone and really explaining why something is the way it is or how we are going to approach something from an anatomical standpoint, I I love to do that. And they might
Mm-hmm.
be, most of the time they're very interested, they really want to know, what is this person doing to my face, first of all, because it is your face.
That's
And
fair.
you want to
Real quick for all the listeners and partially myself, what is anatomical?
anatomy, so an anatomical is anatomy. Anatomy is our the inside of our bodies, where the
Okay.
arteries are, where the veins are, where the fat pads are, where the ligaments are, where how the muscles move up and down. And if you put Botox in the wrong place, you might have a crooked smile, you might have a what's called a ptosis or a brow drop. So you have to know exactly what you're doing, and everybody's different. Everybody's anatomy is different. So you can't do that across the board. You can't say, okay, this is how you do it, and we're going to do everybody like that. That's not the way it works. You have
Mm,
to look at each individual patient, and I mean, everybody's expressions are different.
mm-hmm,
So you
mm-hmm.
can't you you can't treat the same patient the same way. Everybody is uniquely different.
Yeah,
And
and then Speaking of that, that actually leads me to my next question. Like the thing that I've done marketing for, a few different med spas, and the thing I appreciate most about your brand is that everybody wants to come to a med spa that's luxurious. You have the luxurious feel, but you also have this groundedness to you. How do you keep that authenticity across the board in an industry that seems so image driven, you know?
It's a challenge. It's definitely a challenge. It's really staying true, remaining true to the creation of the aesthetic portal and the why.
Say that one more time. Y'all gotta hear this. Y'all gotta hear that. Say that one
I
more
don't even
time.
remember what I just said.
You
Staying
said it's
true to the vision and the, the reason behind the why.
mm.
Yeah,
It's
because
so funny because I was listening to a podcast this morning. They were talking about staying true to your why because it's so easy to get in this ocean of to-dos, right? Like you have like a legal pad. If you're anything like me, you have a legal pad to-do list, maybe 2 pages long, but going back to that why you started, going back to your origin story, going back to who you're here to serve is like what allows you to hold on to that authenticity. Am I understanding that right?
yes, I mean, I have so much to give, my heart is just I'm I'm full of gratitude that I was able to create this, but I also believe that I have so much to offer and so much to give and to
Mm-hmm.
help people grow. And I would love to reach more people so that they can understand what it is we do. I think in South Tampa, some people are confused with what exactly we're doing. And I think it's because they're like, well, are they doing Reiki? Are they doing breath work? Because we do hold, outside of normal business hours, we do hold circles of Reiki healing, sound bath meditations, and um, it's incredible to bring a community in to heal, to heal,
Mm-hmm.
and together because we're never truly healed. We're always working to fulfill something, right? We're always growing,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
always, and always learning.
It sounds almost like you're bringing a little bit of Costa Rica to Tampa, the healing together, like what you experienced in Costa Rica. Where
100%.
can people find you, like physically, online, social
Hmm.
medias? Like where can they get connected with Rachel and the aesthetic portal?
So I have Instagram, which is at the Aesthetic Portal Tampa.
Hmm.
I just created a TikTok.
Hey, let's go. I'm all in on
Really good.
TikTok,
Oh my
y'all. I
gosh.
love TikTok.
My daughter, my 17-year-old, is in love with TikTok, and I don't know how she sits there and scrolls all day. Uh, I've never been into TikTok, but I was like, okay, dude, I gotta step outside the box here.
Yo, I'm
And
telling you, let me tell you something. I got 3 kids. My newborn obviously hasn't seen a screen in his life, but all you got to do is go to your kids and ask them like, "Hey, what's a good trend that I could use for my business?" And sometimes they're like 5, 7 second little videos that you can just remix and make. They're awesome. They're
well,
awesome. I
you
remember I did one where my daughter was actually we were reenacting like this sportscaster, and so my daughter's like, yeah, we're here with Tillman Givens, and I had taught her how to do the intro and stuff. But it's cool
Mhm.
because you get to grow your business, you get to share that moment with other people in the world who might also be looking at it, and when you get the kids involved, they feel like they're a part of what you're doing. And I think a lot of
Yeah.
entrepreneurs, they struggle with the parent side, and then there's the business side, and then there's my
Mhm.
health and wellness side, and then there's the
Absolutely.
the faith side, right? So when you're able to kind of intertwine some of those and double down on them, now you're spending family time, you're doing something that's growing the business, and you're also making
Yeah.
content. So I
No, I
think that's
love
pretty
that.
cool. But
I love
anyway,
that.
where else could people find you? My bad. I just
No,
got
I was just gonna say on the flip side of that, really quick, if I can,
yeah.
um, following trends. I'm not a trend follower, but at the same time, you have to keep up with, you have to keep up with the industry.
Yep.
So I try to do that in my own way. And it's truly, it's ever evolving.
Hmm.
So, but if I can make an impact on one person's life a day, then that's really that's what matters to me. But where else to find me? I'm on Facebook. The Aesthetic Portal's on Facebook. I also am on X and will be on YouTube very soon.
Good. Yeah. I'm gonna hold you to that. So I'm gonna be your
Yeah,
accountability partner
yeah,
for
you
your
will.
YouTube. We gotta get that up by the end of this month. It's really, really easy. I might
Okay.
even send you a little walkthrough on that. But for
Yeah, do
everybody
that
who
for me, please.
uh
I'm
tapped in with the interview, thank you all so much for being able to do that. That's all the time we have for today. We might even do a part two. Drop a comment down below. Let us know if you want to hear from Rachel some more. We could do a part two, but you
I
didn't
didn't
give
get
us
into it
the
all.
address. I know, I know. I was like, dang, we didn't get to everything. It's so funny because once you get going, almost everybody ends up doing a part two, so it's totally fine. But I want them to have the address for you. I'm gonna put in the description box below for your Facebook, your website, and your social links.
Okay.
But what's the address that people, if they're in Tampa, they can come to and at least get a conversation going and seeing what they have for offer and if it's the right fit for them, and they
Sure.
might need some healing, you know?
Yeah, it's 3115 West Bay to Bay Boulevard, Suite C. So we are Bay to Bay in McDill. We're in the same shopping center as the Navy Recruiting Center. There's a salon next to us. Across the street is a plastic surgeon. So we are very close to the Bay.
Okay, so head to the Bay, not the one in Cali, but over there in Tampa. Um, Sweet C. Sweet
Suite
C.
C.
So yeah, if you guys are a part of Biz Growth Collective, definitely check out bizgrowthcollective.com. There's a lot of resources there for entrepreneurs and business owners, whether it's marketing, whether it's data, whether you're looking into AI, just so much experience. Like there's over what 50 plus years of experience in business that we have, that we put it together to help people, and there's a lot of free stuff that we offer as well. So definitely go to bizgrowthcollective.com, check that out, check out the aestheticportal.com, or just go see her, just go by and see her. You can book on her website, so if you go to the website you can see what options are available there. And other than that, let us know what you want to hear from next time, or if you would like to have your business spotlighted, and we'll talk to y'all soon. Any final
Thanks.
words for the people?
What's that?
I said, any final words for the people?
Final words. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. I hold a lot of gratitude for that. And I am excited to see where this is going to go because there's so much more that so much more. We have an infrared sauna with red light. We have ways of, yeah, we have a Saluma Pro, which actually does so many things from body contouring to treating pain. I'm getting into peptides, and peptides are just so amazing because I'm watching it heal myself. Injuries,
Hmm. Yeah, let me
anxiety.
tell you something. If you're one of those guys like me that have lots of sporting, um, like you played a lot of sports growing up, or you were doing any type of contract labor, that red light sauna is so good, man. For your
So good.
knees, elbows, rotator cuff, shoulder stuff. I mean, it does wonders. Even some of the stuff you don't know about, like the top of your spine here, like these vertebrae up here from putting the weight on the rack and lifting weights that way. It's a lot of good stuff. I also used to do construction for some years back in the day, which could be very, very tough on the body, right? Because you're
Shoot.
not really having time to get massages, or sometimes the deep tissue is too painful because you have too much lactic acid built up. Get into that red light sauna, to kind of alleviate some of that first before you get into the deep tissue would really help the muscles and the ligaments and everything just have the longevity that you're looking for. So, as well as
And
staying hydrated, you got to stay hydrated
yes,
for those.
and then
Yeah.
stacking that with peptides and putting you under the Saluma, it's a win-win. And I didn't even share my story about my the surgery on my hand, which was
Oh,
pretty instrumental in creating the business as well. Um, my injecting hand, my main hand, I couldn't inject anymore because of overuse. So this is when I started to create the business because I had a
uh-huh.
lot of downtime where I couldn't work. I actually had to move in with family and didn't have a job. My job was creating the aesthetic portal at the time, but also healing from this surgery. And I just wanted to mention that because the peptides I'm taking have really. I also had a sciatic nerve injury fairly recently, and I'm telling you, these peptides have really taken me by surprise in a good way.
What's been the biggest change you've seen?
The healing, just the relief, the pain relief. Um, I'm seeing differences in strength. I'm seeing
Especially with
different.
that sciatic nerve?
I'm seeing, I had a complete foot drop. I could not go on my tiptoes. And now it's been a month of being on this one peptide, and I can stand on my tiptoes.
So nothing on the top shelf is safe anymore. We are healing. We are healing. Well, yeah, we'll see y'all on the next one. More than likely, we'll have a part two with Rachel, and let us know what you think in the comments. Talk to y'all soon.
Thank you.